What's up, everyone?
Yo, what's going on?
Welcome to the 4th episode of the 2nd season of the Nothing But Net Show.
The first episode we can talk about regular season NBA basketball.
Yes, sir.
Oh my god, it's so great.
I'm your co-host, Jamar.
And I'm your co-host, Mikey.
And this episode, we are going to be talking about my Celtics, his Heat. Which one, they're both looking pretty good, but which one is going to have a better season? We'll discuss.
Good question. Now, we're also going to talk about our takeaways from the first week. We know it's really early, but we saw some things that we found really interesting. Some were good, some were bad, and We're going to air that out.
Now, before we get into all of that, first, we got to talk about it. If you follow us on social media, you've seen our new announcement. Ooh. We are releasing our Modern Sports Media Group merch, specifically the Nothing But Net Show merch.
Customizable, baby.
Customizable in your favorite team's colorway.
We don't even have them yet. We're excited. I mean, I have my order in. He has his order in. You guys should definitely get your orders in. Being able to play around with the colors, do what you want.
For sure. As you're looking now on the screen, you see the Celtics colorway and the Lakers colorway, what you're looking at right now. Mikey already kind of has a Heat colorway, but definitely if you're interested, get your order in before Friday. The first shipment will be ordered, and then we'll keep it going after that. But for now, let's get into this episode.
Let's get it.
Up them balls on them, birdie. Pull up on the set, ballin' nothing but net. Posting my clips, shut down the internet. First like it, comment what you like best. I won't pass it like boy, put me to the test. It's nothing but net, show you know we coming up. Cop our merch if you wanna show love. Sub to our channel, help us level up. Nothing but net, show you know we coming up.
As you guys saw on last episode, Jamar said the Celtics are going to be the overall second best team in the East when it's all said and done after 82 games. I told you I wasn't sure what I'm feeling about the Heat, but I think the potential is there to make a really good run. After we saw the first week, the Celtics looked really good. The Heat also looked really good without their key acquisition of the free agency, Jimmy Butler. Now, this sparked a debate which team's better right now and which team's going to be better at the end of the year. So I do want to open this to Jamar. We'll start with the first one. Who's been more impressive at the beginning of the year, and then who do you think is going to be the overall better team when it's all said and done regular season-wise?
So, I have to give it to them. You might not expect this. The Heat have been more impressive.
Hey, right? I like that answer.
It's true. They have, especially with that recent win over the 76ers. Oh, I'm sorry. Not the 76ers, over the Bucks.
That was a good game.
Coming back from, I believe it was 25-point deficit.
We were down.
Without Jimmy Butler. At Milwaukee, not playing at home, coming back and winning that, that's pretty tough. Without their star player, again. So they've definitely been more impressive. I believe your second question was who's going to be better at the end of the season. And you know my answer. I'm going with the Celtics.
Okay, you got to stick to your guns.
Yeah. I made the prediction. I do want to clarify, I did make a mistake on my Twitter when I was making the NBA predictions thread. A couple people hit me up saying, oh, you have the 76ers over the Bucks. I thought it was the Celtics. You switched up. Nah, it's not that. I didn't switch up. I made a mistake. Assuming, it's all depending on seeding because you never know if the Celtics will run into the 76ers before, which obviously I hope not because the 76ers are the best team in the East.
Yeah, without a doubt.
But, yeah, so I would definitely have the 76ers in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I do feel that they're the second best team in the league. I think that they're only going to continue to get better. We haven't played our best ball, for sure. We have not played our best ball.
You took away Kyrie, added Kemba, and that's a really big factor.
Huge
adjustment
to
Horford.
make. And no Horford. We have Cantor, who's great offensively, not as great defensively. So we have to learn some defensive principles. I think that we still have the right coach. A lot of people have forgotten what Brad Stevens is as a coach, and I think he's going to remind a lot of people. But I think will only continue to get better. I think that JT will be an all-star, which I said before the season. Him and Pascal, I called both of them, and they will both be all-stars. But I think we're only going to continue to get better, and definitely will be the second best team in the East, and hopefully we'll make the Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay, I feel that. I think that's a pretty fair assessment. Being as though you're a Celtics fan, I'd probably have them, the Bucks, and honestly maybe the Heat. Depending on how this plays out.
They're looking really good. And the thing about the Heat, too, they're gritty.
Yeah.
They're dogs. They fight with Spoelstra and it starts at the top. So with Riley and just coming all the way down, the Heat are looking good.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Now, mind you, the first 2 games we were without Jimmy Butler,
Right.
Dion Waiters,
Right.
James Johnson.
Dion Waiters.
Let me handle Dion.
Okay.
Let me handle
okay,
Dion.
Okay.
Let me start with this.
Uh-huh.
Goran Dragic is coming off the bench. Goran Dragic was a starter his whole career. Once he started after Steve Nash, he's not come off the bench since.
Can I ask you a question? Was Goran Dragic an All-Star last year?
For the East, yes.
Yeah, no, he made the All-Star team.
Yeah.
So we have, I say that to say, an All-Star
Was able to.
is accepting of his role on the bench. Please continue.
Dion Waiters. Amazing talent when it comes to scoring the basketball. We saw it 2 years ago how he went off with the flurry and we ended up going on such a great run. And honestly, it's always been an issue since he came into the league. I don't know if you guys remember. I know you do.
Right.
I'm better than Kyrie Irving. You remember that? You remember that when he said that on the Cavs?
I think I make this face once a show now.
Yeah. Ever since then, it's like, okay, Dion, a little too big for your britches.
Right.
But if you back it up, it is what it is. And that's what really annoyed me. If he was able to accept, as Goran Dragic is, coming off the bench,
That he would be even better.
Dion, Dragic, and James Johnson off the bench,
We might be talking about, seriously, we might be talking about them as maybe the best team in the East. Seriously, because remember, I have Bam Adebayo being the most improved player as well this season. And he's living up to that for sure so far.
That chase down block was... being a center doing
center.
that was...
A center
oh
did
my
that.
God.
Yeah, seriously. I feel that the Heat have crazy potential. I think they need to get rid of Dion. I'm going to be real. Dion, I'm sorry. I know you watched the show. I think they got to get rid of him. I think he's going to become a cancer in the locker room. I think he needs an opportunity to be on his own team for his own career, which is completely fine. Some players need that. But I just feel that it would be best for both parties if they can find another team that's interested in his talent, and that can maybe give us a couple, or they Heat a couple role players. I don't know if I'm allowed to say us.
Yeah.
I only live here.
And I think the thing is, too, is him and Jimmy Butler just seem like so opposite of personalities.
Right.
And they're both very vocal that's just going to lead to just headbutting.
Yeah, it's going to become a locker room problem.
And everyone seems to be falling in under the Jimmy Butler. As you said earlier, this team is gritty. They've been gritty.
100%.
And so putting Jimmy Butler at the helm, like on the court, I think was perfect.
It started at the beginning with training camp when Jimmy Butler was coming like at 4 o'clock in the morning.
With Tyler Hero and all them.
He was the first one to do it by himself. And then other players were like, no, if you're coming, I'm coming. And then next thing you know, I think Buddy from the Blazers, I can't think of his name right now. Myers Leonard, yeah. So he was like, oh, you're coming at 4, I'm coming at 3:30. And but it built a culture. That's how you build a culture. That sense of
culture, baby.
Yeah, seriously. And I say build. I know that Heat have had a culture for years. Probably some people will get defensive about that. But
we didn't have a guy since... we had Wade, but it was different from not having the superstar.
Right.
Like having that star guy, like leading
And plus, you're just putting a new team together. You have some returning pieces, but you have
got a lot of kids that have new within the last 3 years.
Other teams, exactly, that are going to be playing pivotal roles. So definitely, it contributes to building a culture. But you didn't answer though. Who's going to be better at the end of the regular season?
At the end of the regular season, I want to say originally I want to say the Celtics. Because what they had last year and what they continue to build. I'll say for right now I'll say the Celtics because they've proved it for years.
Right.
I think if the Heat do what they can do, then I think it's between them and the Celtics, and the Bucks I think they're all going to be really close, like behind the 76ers.
I'll say one last thing. I feel as though, seriously, Dion Waiters, if they can flip him into maybe a couple extra role pieces and they get rid of that ego in the locker room, we might be having a different discussion about the East.
Yeah, I just don't know who or where.
Right, I don't know who or where. I don't have any ideas or propositions or anything, but we might be having a slightly different conversation.
If the Raptors want to score, hit our line.
So it's early in the NBA season, but we've had a couple of surprise performers that I want to bring up. You can discuss whichever one you're interested in first. To me, the surprise, or not necessarily surprise because I expected it from Kyrie, but I was going to say Kyrie Irving, Trae Young, my pick for All-Star in the East this year, Pascal Siakam. We've had some crazy performances in the East.
Yeah.
Which one were you most impressed by?
Pascal's first night was amazing. I need to see more consistency.
His second night was pretty decent too.
But I think I'm going to go Trae Young just because I
Okay.
was pretty harsh on Trae Young last year.
I don't know why. I told you he's a second coming Steph Curry.
It was just
Better playmaker Steph Curry as well.
I don't know about all that.
It's true.
But it's also the fact that it was like the debate between him and Luka, I think, sort of hindered how I saw him.
Luka's a better player right now.
Yeah, I mean, what he's been doing this year is amazing too. I think
Right.
it was just sort of just comparing those two instead of seeing them as like separate entities. I think sort of skewed the view for me
Right.
on Trae, and also
Okay.
the fact that they're not winning. But same thing with Devin Booker. I'm a big Devin Booker guy,
Right.
even though that they don't win.
Right.
But I think what Trae's done is amazing. I mean, against the Pistons, pulling up from the logo like that, like I know Steph does it. I know
It's crazy.
I know Dame does it. But like the way he's doing was just different. It was
Logo
just like,
Lillard.
it's literally just okay.
Nah, it's effortless with Trae. And I said this last season, and I wasn't exaggerating when I say he really is the second coming Steph Curry. They're gonna
Same
come.
play style, same
They're gonna
exact
come
play style.
quicker than you think. The thing with Steph Curry, and I think you've made this point on the show before, it is easy. Let me not say easy, because I'm not saying like it's easy to be Steph, but it's way easier to be Steph than like a LeBron or a KD, or because of the size factor.
Yeah.
Steph is so small. His game is relying on his shooting. If you're in the gym shooting hours a day,
Yeah.
it's easier. Again, I'm not saying it's easy to become him, but it's a more
It's not a physical gift. Whereas
Right.
LeBron is 6'8", 260. Kevin Durant is 7 foot tall.
Right.
With the handles of a 2 guard.
That's exactly my point. So they're going to be coming quick, and Trae Young's the first one. I'm telling you, first of probably many to come.
Yeah.
But definitely Trae's been crazy impressive. I wasn't exaggerating when I said he's a second coming, better playmaker already. Seriously, than
think
Steph
so.
Curry. I seriously think Trae Young is a top 5 playmaker in this league.
I think he has the ball a lot, but he turns it over a lot too.
Well, he's also young. Let him grow. But his passing is amazing. But I do want to touch on Kyrie Irving. Like I mentioned, I wasn't
Killer.
necessarily surprised by it.
Killer.
The only reason somebody hit me up, I think it was Leo's. Shout out my boy Leo's.
You?
Leo's hit me up saying he's a dark horse MVP candidate.
Yeah.
He was like low key. I was like, it's not even low key. It's high key. The only reason I did not choose Kyrie Irving to win this year's MVP is because they won't have the wins. Seriously. There'll be a lower seed in the East that's not going to cut it.
Yeah.
But Kyrie Irving, what he's about to do for this Brooklyn Nets team is going to be special.
He might give you 30 a night.
He might, yeah.
He might keep 30 in
And LeBron seen it a long time ago when he said this man's going to be an MVP in our league.
Yeah.
If they had a better supporting cast, and if he had a chance to be a top 3 seed in the East, we would be having serious discussions about him being the MVP.
Yeah, no, because he's ice cold. He's
Fact.
a killer.
Fact.
And then if just
From the
don't-
right wing.
Yeah, don't let him take you out to the right wing.
From
man.
the right wing. I don't know why defenses do this. There was a stat, I forget what it was, but his percentage is like significantly higher in the fourth quarter
it's
on
the
that
same,
right
like
wing.
3 moves. He's gonna go, sidestep.
Between the legs, sidestep. Exactly. Yeah, like
You know it's coming.
get him
Don't
away
matter.
from that right wing. Send him to the left.
Yeah. And now I also heard. Well, we did touch upon Pascal, so I do want to speak on that more.
Yes, sir.
It's really gonna be for him. I said this to you before. He does everything really well. The question is, can he continue to do it consistently, or will part of his game sort of diminish to take for like the offensive game? Because the offensive is going to weigh on his shoulders more than defense.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
will that begin to lack? Because I always compare him to Draymond, but the offensive output is a lot more scoring wise.
right.
So do you think he can do both this year? Or do you think the defense takes a step back because the offense took a step forward?
2 things. One, he's younger. He's a younger player in the league, so he has fresh legs. So he don't have no excuse.
That's true.
He can do both ends. 2, that bag. He just signed a maximum contract extension. And I told you on the episode, once he did that, I said, he has no choice. He's going to be an all-star. He does not have a choice because they are relying on him. Kawhi's gone.
Yeah.
Kawhi's gone. They are relying on him to not only carry the offense, but be an anchor defensively.
Yeah.
And he will do both those things. And I'm fully confident in him for sure.
Yeah, I think he definitely can, and he seems like the worker that's not going to. I got my money.
Right.
I can relax. I think he's the type of worker of, oh, you paid me this much. You paid me $100 million or however it was. I wanted to prove to you that I was worth 150.
Right.
I want to exceed your expectations. I think just because of how long the season is, there's gonna be points where it's like he does like the sort of the James Harden, LeBron, where there's clips on Twitter like Pascal standing still, someone dunks, and it's just like, dude, he just ran up and down the court like 7 straight times, and you clip that one.
Unfortunately, in that social media age that we're in now, that's what happens. Like one clip where you don't run, you don't get back on defense, you don't rotate, whatever the case is, that's the one that goes viral. But definitely I expect great things from him. I do want to transition, though. We've seen some younger players ball out, but we've seen some proven veterans look terrible. I'm talking LeBron James in the season opener. I'm talking, even though, of course, took him one game to get back to being LeBron.
Anthony Davis hasn't looked great.
I was about to say Anthony Davis hasn't looked great. But even when we're talking more veterans, James Harden, Mike Conley,
Steph Curry.
Russ
is not shooting too hot.
Steph, I have a different opinion on that. But the list goes on and on. What do you think is going on with that?
I think what happened in last night's game against the Pelicans for the Rockets just sums it all up. James Harden takes the ball, slams it on the floor, hits him back in the face.
Frustration.
I think that just sums it all up. For him, the first game, everything when it didn't go right, he shows it.
He's a really reactive person.
Yeah, if something doesn't go right, you see the shoulder slump, the face drop.
And it's cool to be reactive. But this is the same thing. This is the same thing I got on DeMarcus Cousins for. No, not even when you're a leader. It's cool to be reactive. It's cool to be energetic. Do it in a Draymond sense. Do you ever see Draymond? Draymond's extremely reactive.
Yeah.
Draymond's extremely energetic, and he's the leader of the team. Do you ever see him slouching his shoulders?
That's what I'm saying. Like you can't do that as Harden when you lead them and you see your leaders just.
When you're the leader of a team, you gotta always be.
Even if you're 1 for 27, you have to.
Right. I will say with James Harden, it was surprising, especially seeing what he did in the preseason. He looked to be in mid-season form.
Yeah.
With LeBron, historically, he actually hasn't played great in season openers.
It's slow.
I don't really know why.
It's slow starts to the train run.
I believe not last year, but starting with last year's 2018, starting with 2017. His last 5 season openers were all in the teens. I don't know why. But, we've seen what he does. People are so quick. I just feel like people are so quick to react to one game. Oh, my gosh, he's trash. Oh, my gosh, the Clippers are the team in LA, which they are. But, no, he's LeBron. And he quickly, people were saying, oh, this is official. He's past the torch, Kawhi. And then the next game, he tops him in points, rebounds, assists, etc.
And he goes full LeBron.
Exactly. But Mike Conley, what's going on with him?
I thought that was one of the best pickups of the offseason.
Right, me too.
And just, it seems really weird just because the way Donovan Mitchell plays and the way he plays are so different that when they do swap or they aren't together, it should mesh perfectly.
Gel together,
and he's such a veteran. Donovan's young, and as you've seen on Twitter and when he goes out, like at the All-Star game, he's willing to listen and take advice.
Yeah.
And I thought Mike Conley's the perfect person to sort of help him round it all out.
What's going on with him? I don't know what's going on with him. He can't buy a bucket. He can't. His playmaking's off. He just seems. I don't know if it's that he's in a new system. I don't know if it's that he's having a hard time trying to fit in with the guy's personality.
Time just sort of caught him with a body shot.
Yeah, he's looking rough. I hope. I don't know if I can say I expect, but I hope that he tightens that up.
I think he can right the ship. I think just the type of player he is, even if his skills diminish. He's smart enough up here to understand,
sure. 100%.
Hey, I can't do what I did in 2014, but this is what I can do in 2019.
100%.
Let me just get this offense here, offense here, hand the keys back off to Donovan, and then do as I'm needed.
Yeah, I hope it's not Father Time. I hope he can still continue to produce at a high level, but if not, it'll be very interesting because, like you said, he is one of the smarter players in the league to see where his mental can take him, where his physical can't. So that'll be interesting, but it's been some interesting basketball.
One last one though.
Yeah.
I got one last one.
Yeah.
We talked about this opening night, and after the second game, the Anthony Davis post up. Playing through that, that's so gone unless you're Joel Embiid.
they can't play. I feel like Frank Vogel doesn't exactly know what playing through a player is. Case in point, LeBron on media day, they asked him, have you ever played through a player before? He's like, yes, I have. Kyrie Irving. That doesn't mean Kyrie Irving takes every shot. That doesn't mean Kyrie Irving dribbles the ball down every single time. But it means your plays are based on him. Maybe his movement coming off a down screen opens someone else. Maybe
his
it is
pick
him
and roll,
dribbling
you
down.
slide to the corner, and gets you open.
Right. So this whole playing through AD thing, when they're posting him up
touch the ball
every single possession. I mean, I texted you, that's going to be real cute for about 5 games.
Yeah.
That's not going to continue to work. Even we saw it, they tried to do it first half last game, and then LeBron, actually, Spider blocked. Spider backboarded the fudge out of LeBron.
Woke up the beast.
And then LeBron started balling.
Woke up the little line.
Thank you, Spider, because I was pissed watching him. But, yeah, that whole facilitator, let's just pass it to AD every single time, that's not going to continue.
Yeah,
that's not going to win games.
If you want to play through AD, we talked about this before, it's also him coming up setting screens.
Right.
It's him being able to score at all 3 levels. So having him be 17 feet out. And I think if you're going to play through him, like give him the ball, like every 3 out of maybe like 8 possessions, he should be catching it 17 feet out. And then if he likes what he sees, all right, come here, you're little. Barbecue chicken.
Ball movement. Yes, it's not just ISO ball with him in the post. That's not going to win in 2019.
In the post, he's not the greatest scorer because he's so athletic and so quick. He's so guard-like that it's sort of his worst area on the court because
because he can do so many.
Yeah, you're just putting him in such a small area. Like, here you go. Here's 5 feet to work with. Stay within those 5 feet. And he's like, my arms are too long for that.
I can do whatever I want. Right, but I will say, though, I still think that there's a great chance that he does lead the Lakers in scoring. That does not mean by any means he's their best player, but especially if they keep force-feeding him, I can definitely see him.
Braun,
but
once they realize the pick and roll.
I seriously see both him and Braun
25 up.
25 up. Yeah. Both of them. Braun will average over 10 assists a game. I told you
that
before the season
started. We still have the $10 bet going on.
We still got that $10. Braun will average over 10 assists. AD will average over 10 rebounds. Braun will average 5+ boards, I'll say, because they are a really big team. AD will average about 5 assists. So it'll be like mirroring stats.
Yeah, just opposite of the...
And then AD with the blocks. Oh, my gosh. He's going to get Defensive Player of the Year. Especially since he was vocal about it before preseason, because it is story. It is a lot of story.
And it's his contract year.
Right.
Being able to say DPOY last year.
Right. It's a big difference. But, yeah, it's been some interesting ball. Looking forward to seeing things tighten up a little bit.
Hopefully.
Especially with the start. No, we know what will happen. I mean, James Harden's not going to continue. You know what it is.
And if he does, if he continues for a little bit longer, you're going to see more in him and Ross sparking each other, which I really like.
Sure.
I like teammates being able to get on each other.
I'm so glad you brought this up. I know we were closing. I'm so glad you brought this up, though, because that's why they will work, the Rockets.
They respect each other.
They respect each other, and they're boys. They're friends. Not anyone can go up to Russell Westbrook, average a triple-double for the past 3 seasons, MVP of the entire league.
And say, take a step back.
Go up to him and start yelling at him in his face.
Yeah.
James Harden can.
And same thing with James Harden. Averaged 36 last year.
Right.
I was MVP the year before.
Right.
I should have been MVP last year, as he claims. I am James Harden. I am one of the most, if not most, unguardable player currently playing with no KD.
Right.
You can't yell at me because I'm better.
But Russ can.
Yeah.
And that is why they will work. But, yeah, NBA tighten up a little bit. And that concludes this episode of the Nothing But Net Show. Next time you see me and Mikey, we're going to be in some team colorways. You know what it is. As always, we appreciate all of you, every single one of you guys.
We love everyone
that tuned into the show. And especially if you watched until this point, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate you all.
Yeah, and now I do have a challenge for you guys for the comment section. I have my Heat colorway. I have my red and black. We know what he's probably going to go with. What colors am I going to go with? Respond.
Ooh.
If enough people get it right, maybe I do something to help you guys out. If enough people get it wrong, maybe I pick the one person that gets it right. But
let's see.
Come on, hit us in the comment section.
Appreciate you all. Thank you. Until next time.
Love you. Peace.